Hey folks, welcome back to FreepCast. My name is Robb Murray. I'm here with Joe Spear. And Joe, it always seems like when you go on vacation, a lot of news happens.
A lot of news happens. Yeah, big week last week.
Or maybe not always, but it did happen last week.
Well, I've been tracking this throughout my career, of course, and my counterpart, Kathy Voss, is usually the one who is gone when big news happens. It happened with the Clinton revelation and Monica Lewinsky. I think it happened with a couple of tornadoes. I think it happened with some other calamities, big murders. And so for once, I was off. And you guys handled the horrific house fire that killed 2 children last week. And then, of course, we had this Minneapolis news, the Annunciation shooting, which is news all over. And big news, Mankato police are starting to pay attention to college town, apartment complex, another kind of big story. But we don't want to get too far before we mention our sponsor. This podcast sponsored by Minnesota Valley Federal Credit Union, happily serving those who live, work, do business in Blue Earth, Nicollet, LeSueur, Waseca, Brown, or Watonwan counties since 1934. Thanks, shout out to those folks at Minnesota Valley for helping support great journalism and this podcast.
I also want to mention that we usually have a segment of this podcast that gets into sports. We will do that again today, but we're going to bring in our new sports editor, Mitch.
Mitch Vosburg.
He's going to join us in a few minutes to talk about sports.
Really been out and about, getting to know all the coaches, getting to the games. I think people are going to like our sports coverage with Mitch.
I think you're right. He's got a real lively writing style that I think is welcome.
Great enthusiasm for high school and all things sports.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to figure out where his alliances lie, though, because he's from Michigan, and I saw him wearing Packer stuff one time. So, why would you wear Packer stuff if you're from Detroit? Detroit's going to be great this year.
It's weird.
Although I just saw on our sports page that we ran today, NFL preview, the prognosticators for our company, our sports gurus, are picking the Vikings to be number 1 in the NFC.
I also saw that, and I was surprised.
We'll see. Maybe they're jinxing us. But anyway, a lot of news to talk about, to get to. Yeah. We had an in-depth report from Mark Fishnick on the College Town apartment complex, and police have been called there recently on some serious things. We talked about it in previous podcasts about the assault that was captured on video of a guy beating another guy with a baseball bat, numerous people around there. Seems like there was another incident call on a weekend, but it turned out to be nothing, which I appreciate. Too many press releases is better than not enough.
Yes.
So, thank you, City of Mankato. We will check out things you think are noteworthy, and please, fighting and assaults and things like that are noteworthy in this town. People want to know about them. Yeah. But Mark added to that story a long list of alcohol-related and assault-related incidents that police have dealt with in the past, and he dug that up from our archive. I think just typing in College Town, and we had stuff going back all the way to 2018. It's one of those things that didn't look like it shows up every week, but there were enough sort of serious incidents, and I'm glad we reported that, and I'm glad, the owners of College Town is a group that involves Kyle Smith, who owns some of these buildings downtown and is involved in the hotel project, and they gave us a statement at least saying, we're working with police to clean this up and to address the issues. And it was billed. It's kind of an interesting story because it was billed as a college town, as a gated community, like luxury, security. And of course, Casey's picture showed the gate was broken down and hanging on the hinge. So people are getting in and probably not using their pass cards.
So it is a common sight, I think, for the police to be there. But I'm wondering, back in the day when Campus View was the biggest place for students to live, and also was the site of the 2000, what year was that, the riot?
Yes.
It all kind of erupted in Campus View. Are we picking on College Town? Is it
Could be.
justified?
I mean, you have to sort of go with what's being reported and what the police consider important. I guess we could do a comprehensive look at how many police calls to each college complex, and do a more comprehensive view of it. And, of course, social media magnifies these incidents, but, watching that video, I think anyone would be unsettled by that. I mean, people hitting each other with baseball bats, and it kind of seemed like gang violence, and who knows what the story was behind it. Maybe it was retribution for something awful another person did.
Yeah.
But worth bringing these things to the attention, and I'm glad the city and the College Town are talking about it, and we'll wait eagerly to hear what their plan is going forward for that. Another interesting story, a lot of people read and love history. We did a Sunday feature on the historic Johnson Furniture Building. Used to be a car dealership, so we had some old photos in there. Mike Lagerquist did the story. It used to be a farm store, I guess, as well. But and then their mattress place used to be the Greyhound Bus Depot. That was still here when I came to college in 1978.
Didn't you say
I took the Greyhound.
you took the bus down here?
Mm-hmm. Sometimes took it back, too.
Took it home?
Yeah. In those days, parents didn't, feel like they had to drive you to college, or you're 18, you're on your own.
Mm-hmm.
There's the Greyhound bus station. You were 10 years later than me. Did your parents drive you down? And
it was pretty much, here's your stuff.
Yeah.
We'll see you. See you when you come home with Thanksgiving.
And my buddy had a car, so we did drive down together. And, I didn't have a car till later.
Not the same thing when I dropped my kids off at school.
Good Lord. No. It's changed a lot. So, fun to see those old building stories. Talking a little bit about the fire, you were called to duty to, it was Monday morning, right? The first day of school, the 25th.
Yeah.
And happened at 2 a.m, and all of a sudden we hear about this horrific fire in Lincoln Park on Bradley Street.
Yes.
Okay. And we haven't had a fatal fire in a long, long time. That's very rare. So
we heard about it from a former Blue Earth County
Drew
Commissioner. Yeah.
Drew Campbell. It's in his neighborhood, and he Drew's been a long time friend of the Free Press, so he helps us out on that, and got a photo, unfortunately, of the fire. And you did the reporting.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about that.
It's horrific. And I was walking around down there, and I saw one of our former employees, Josie Bellina.
Josie kind of lives in that neighborhood.
And her kids played with.
Oh dear.
Those kids, and she, visibly upset. They live a few blocks away, and then there's tragedy happened.
Yeah, that is so tragic when it involves kids as well. And mom is still in the hospital in pretty rough shape, it sounds like.
And we still
burn unit.
We still don't know if she knows.
Yeah.
That 2 of her kids are gone.
Mm.
She's in a medically induced coma.
Induced coma, yeah, to heal those burns.
Yeah, she has infections in her lungs, I guess.
And then we had a follow-up story that Leah did when the partner of the woman in connection to the kids came back to the house and was talking about it, I guess.
Former partner.
Yep. Okay. Glad you clarified that. And we did a kind of a story about what people are going through, but you can't imagine it, and they're hard stories to do. At the same time, I think you've probably found over the years when you do those stories, people have something to say, and they sometimes like to talk about their loved one. And
almost always. Yeah,
and that's what your goal is. We don't really want to reemphasize your tragedy or anything like that, but we want to find out who your loved one was, what were they like, and that's usually the goal, to kind of help the family begin to heal with the empathy of the community. Tough stories to do.
It's pretty rare also when you go to an event like that, if you're from our newsroom, we have we used to have a lot of veteran reporters, but when you go to a thing like that and you're a veteran reporter, they know you're not just there to get a scoop and to get out of there with a sensational story, and they almost always want to say something about their loved one.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. You've been to other incidences like when they're looking for a kid that drowned.
Yeah.
I think you were on that story. That's happened a little more frequently than this, I think, in the Minnesota River. And that's really gut-wrenching. All the families are sitting there on the riverbank waiting for some word.
That was rough. That was
Yeah.
When I tell people about doing this job, I very often tell that story because I sat there looking at that mom for an hour or more.
Yeah.
Trying to get the courage up to go talk to her. And when I finally did, she was just really nice to me.
Yeah.
She knew what I was going through. And she helped me through that moment, even though she's already going through something with her own son. So
yeah.
And she wanted to talk. She wanted to tell us about her son.
About her son.
And she knew he was dead.
Yeah. Watching
the sheriff's department drag the river for her son.
Yeah. Those are tough stories. So what else we got coming up? We've got the Mankato magazine. It's going to be the pet issue. We're getting lots of pet photos.
Yep, it's my favorite magazine of the year.
All right.
We put the call out for pets, and we get hundreds coming in. And it's my job the next day to process them all and get them all ready to go in the magazine with names and numbers.
Yeah, that's a popular issue.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. It just reminds people how important pets are nowadays to everyone who has one. It seems like that hasn't always been the case, and I'm not really sure. Over the 15 or 20 years, people have just become more. We need a pet, and we love a pet, and we're willing to spend lots of money on a pet if it gets sick.
I think you're right. I think it's kind of in the last 10 years. I think social media has a lot to do with that. People want to put their pet out there to show the world how cute they are.
Yeah. How do you explain the need for it growing, though? Just society.
I wonder if
people need more connection to.
A lot of folks adopted during COVID.
That's right. Yeah.
And then a lot of them got sent back when they realized they didn't want to be pet owners. But most of them didn't. So I think a lot more people became pet owners during the lockdown.
I wonder if it's because most pets are very don't hold grudges, don't blame. They forgive you for whatever you do, and they're still your friend.
And they're always happy to see you.
And they're always happy to see you, no matter what.
Yep.
It's kind of a magical thing that happens, I think, with pet and pet ownership. And we sure have a lot of it around here. It seems like enthusiasm is great, and we're doing, we're helping the benches help get pets adopted by running in our Wednesday edition, right? Adoptable pets, mostly dogs and cats, or is it all dogs?
It's been mostly dogs.
Okay.
And we just learned this week that 3 of them got adopted from last week. So we have
nice.
We had new ones that ran in the paper yesterday.
I was wondering about that, if that's being effective, if they're getting some adoptions off of it.
When we did this the last time a few years ago, they did tell us that people mentioned because they
noticed
saw them in the paper.
Saw them in the paper. Yeah, just a little bit about the dog and what their needs might be, which I find very helpful.
Sometimes they do have special needs.
Or like this one. If you have a lot of kids, maybe not this one.
I think we had a blind one or a semi-blind one named Tommy in the paper yesterday.
Yeah. So, people can kind of pick the right pet for them according to what works for them. And maybe it's a good communication thing so they don't have to study every pet, right? To go there and learn. They can see several pets in the paper. What do we do, 8 or 9 of them?
We do 6. And if nothing else, people see in the paper every Wednesday that there's animals that need homes.
Yep. Good service. I think that's something that can be added to our list of good things we're trying to do for the community.
Yeah.
And then upcoming this weekend, we've got Rock Bend Folk Fest I think there's a story in tomorrow's paper about that,
I
isn't
think
there?
so. Yeah.
And that's always a pretty good lineup of, some national acts and some pretty famous folks come down. And
some good local ones too.
And good local ones, yes. And I heard that some of them go to Patrick's or maybe another bar after the show is over and kind of do jam sessions.
Oh.
But that might be kind of cool. Musicians know each other. And then Pride Fest, we had a story about that today. Going to be pretty big again this year. A lot of vendors. There was part of the article was about talking about security, because of the recent shooting, the Annunciation shooting. And police want to make clear they've worked with Pride Fest organizers to have a security plan and more patrols, I think. And so that's all good. I think it's unfortunate we have to be aware of threats because people are different.
Yeah.
And I thought it was interesting in our article. This might serve as my quote of the week here, because there's a local resident, Nora Henry, will speak on quote unquote one woman's transgender journey, coming from conversations she has had with Coffee Hag owner Jen Melby Kelly. The time for this event was set so as not to conflict with Pride Fest events. So it's afterward, I believe, at 5 at the Coffee House. But anyway, Nora Henry has this to say. For the last year or so, I have been struggling with how to respond to what I perceive to be vicious and ignorant attacks by opportunistic politicians upon the transgender community, of which I am a member. She wrote to us in an email. I finally decided that by sharing my transgender journey with people, I would have a way to respond to the stream of misinformation. Maybe by sharing my story, the general public will begin to understand that trans individuals are not scary, mentally ill monsters, she said. We're just folks like them.
That's
It's
cool.
always, yeah, that's cool. It's always good when you get someone to just speak their mind, and it can be powerful and what they're saying. And we're happy to carry that forward to thousands of readers who need to hear it. I think the reference was maybe it's come out now the shooter at Annunciation was transgender. And, of course, it's easier to make irrational connections between who you are and what you do, obviously. And she's right. Opportunistic politicians have taken advantage of it.
Yep.
And it ain't right. So with that, I think we can maybe shift to sports unless you have
we'll take a
other
break.
things to...
I got nothing else.
Okay.
I'm gonna head out and we'll bring in Mitch.
We'll take a break and bring Mitch in. I saw you wearing some Green Bay gear.
Yeah, so I am when it comes to most sports, Detroit Tigers, Detroit Red Wings, Detroit Pistons,
Lions?
Steelers, Pittsburgh Steelers,
No,
actually.
why?
So when I grew up, I was forced to watch the Lions because that's all we can get on Fox. I watched the 08 season. My dad was a big fan in the 90s, and my grandpa grew up like 30 minutes away from Pittsburgh and the banks of the Ohio River.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah, then Greg Jennings was from put at Western Michigan University from Kalamazoo, 25 minutes away. So I was kind of bandwagon then. Then I found out you could actually buy shares of the Packers, and then now I have a share. And
Do you really?
I do. I bought it as a graduation gift to myself.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are we on? Yeah, okay.
That was good stuff.
Sweet.
All right. All right. Well, we're back here anyway with Mitch Vosburg, our sports editor. And I want to just plug our sponsor before we get going on this little segment here. Podcast sponsored by Minnesota Valley Federal Credit Union, happily serving those who live, work, do business in Blue Earth, Nicollet, LeSueur, Waseca, Brown, Wantagh County since 1934. So give them a shout out.
You guys are awesome. Thank you.
But, so we were talking your allegiances. Green Bay, Detroit's going to have a great team. You're still not going to go with them.
I'm at the point now as a sports reporter. For me, it's like I'm not as big of a fan as more as just like someone who enjoys the games
Yeah.
because like I can't cheer in a press box as bad
Right,
as I want to
right,
sometimes. So
right.
like kind of the big fan of me gets numbed
Yeah.
unless I'm watching my Steelers. In that case, on Sundays, don't be near me. I'm a little toxic at
Yeah.
times, but I'll admit to that. But no, I mean,
Steelers got the Vikings' old coach Tomlin.
yes,
right?
they do. Yeah.
And he's had a lot of success there. So great team. Although I see our sports preview of the NFL was not looking kindly on the Steelers. They said something.
No one's looking kindly on them, and I just want to see what happens, especially with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback in 2025.
Were you surprised to see? Yeah, Rodgers, that'll be the thing. Were you surprised to see our prognosticators put Vikings as NFC number one?
A tad.
Yeah.
A tad. I think as well as they did at one-score games last year, you can't repeat that. You won't see Kansas City go 12-0 one-score games. You won't see Minnesota do the same thing.
True.
So I don't know. Just the NFC North altogether was so competitive at the start of training camp, but then you add Micah Parsons in with the Packers, and it's like
Oh, yeah, Parsons.
it's the toughest division in football by a mile. I don't care what anybody says.
Really?
Because
Yeah.
there's no team in there that you think like, oh, they're for sure gonna be a top 10 pick in the draft next year. Like,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
AFC West you may make case for, but we know the Raiders are gonna be picking top 10. Let's be real.
Yeah. And so you mentioned you had a share of the Packers. How did you acquire a share of the Packers?
So they have these very specific periods because like it's publicly owned. You don't have like a true legit owner. So they'll have these windows of opportunity to buy shares. It happens once every 10, 15 years.
Wow.
I found about that because I was working at Five Guys back in Porch back home. And that guy had a Green Bay Packers shareholder pullover with his grandkids. I'm like, what's the story behind that? It's like, oh, yeah, you could buy shares, could be an owner. And I realized, like, being a journalist is like, is this the one chance we have to, like, say we own part of a sports team? I'd even be real, just the salaries we make. But then I was graduating from Central Michigan. It's like that window opened up again.
Wow.
So I'm like, I worked kind of hard through college. I think it should be nice to be like, hey, within 3 days of graduating, I'm also become an NFL owner, technically.
Wow.
So, yeah.
How much is a share?
I bought mine for $300, but they varied over time.
Oh, that's not bad.
No, not bad at all.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that could be the case. And you don't have someone who's like a major shareholder and can be like a Raider and mess up the team, right?
Correct. I mean, you have people that will brag about having like 30 shares or something like that,
Yeah.
but that doesn't mean much of a difference.
Yeah. Cool. Let's talk local sports. We kicked off the football season last week. You went to the East Owatonna game over in Owatonna.
Mm-hmm.
So it looked like a strong game for East. And what are you finding out about this team?
Okay, so East, first kid that caught my eye was Braden Petzel. The senior offensive tackle, 6'9", 280. Again, don't call him tiny. I saw him, they ran some sort of off tackle play, and I saw him just stable gun a kid from him standing up to the turf in a matter of like a half a second. I just like, good grief, because he's going to Northern Illinois University, and
Wow.
NIU's head coach is a big round guy, and after watching him play one game, it's like, okay, I see why head coach Thomas Hammock was like drooling over this kid because he's like exactly the DNA that NIU wants out of a offensive tackle. So
Really? Wow.
Yeah,
That's a big guy.
yes, a lot of fun to watch him.
Wow. And they have a new sophomore quarterback, right?
Yes, they do. Kellen Willard. He had one interception I thought was kind of iffy, but they had such a big lead. I think he still has room to grow. But we talk about in sports about floors and ceilings.
Yeah.
I think his floor is a little bit higher than you would expect out of a sophomore quarterback. I think his ceiling still a little ways to go. But, again, I thought he looked pretty efficient when he played on Friday.
You got a lot to learn as sophomore anywhere.
Yes.
But, yeah, that's cool. And I don't know, was there a preseason ranking for like Owatonna and East, or haven't they done that yet?
I'm not 100% sure on that. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, Minnesota does rank football teams, so it probably takes a couple weeks, but I don't know if it's high school league or whoever. But
Gotcha.
and I think they do several sports in terms of the rankings and that sort of thing. And what else did you cover last week? You were on some volleyball.
I was a little bit. I mean, I've got a chance to see Mankato East volleyball, their season opener. They were jittery. They were nervous.
Yeah.
They've bounced back pretty well since then.
Okay.
They won their immediate next match and did well in their tournament over in Rochester in the weekend. I mean, the match they won big, and when they lost, it was pretty narrow margins. So.
Okay. And of course, you we saw West Soccer did terrific. We were talking about that 2 weeks ago when their players got 6 goals in the first game.
Oh, from East Girls, yes.
East Girls. Oh,
Yes.
I better not make that mistake again. Yes, indeed. So cool. High school sports. What do you? And you went to the MSU football game. First game Thursday night.
First experience at Blakesley Stadium.
What did you think of the famed press box?
Very intimate, I will say that. Very,
Compact.
Compact's a good word to put it. But it was a cool environment. I mean, just the place was cool. I also got told 0% chance of rain during the game.
Oh yeah.
Somebody was wrong.
It poured.
Because it's in the first quarter, I see the south area, the hill by the students. It's all sunny. They're all having fun and stuff. And then I look north at Taylor Center, and it's just the roof is just getting pounded with rain. It's just this was not gonna end well.
So it was just like a super isolated storm that lasted 5 minutes?
There was a couple that hit succeedingly. I overheard some guy in front of me was in the press box in the stand. He's like, yeah, the entire area is like super clear except for one pop-up spot right between us and St. Peter.
Yeah. So people got wet. And the game went on, though.
Yeah.
And how's MSU look?
I'm excited for him, honestly. Trayshawn Watson, there's a reason why he was an All-American last year. He's still going to be a problem. I know there's concerns at quarterback. I think Mitchell Thompson's going to be just fine. Even then, Maximus Sims right behind him is going to be good too.
These are younger quarterbacks, aren't they?
Yeah. Mitchell is a sophomore and Maximus is a redshirt freshman. And
okay.
I wasn't sure how mobile Mitchell was going to be because he had a decent arm on him. I want to see how he plays from behind before I make a true honest assessment. But when you think of mobile quarterbacks, you think quick. Like, for you growing up, you think Pat White of West Virginia. You think Denard Robinson in Michigan. Mitchell Thompson is thunder. He's 6'4", 225, former wrestler. So it's like kind of like a bull in a china shop kind of thing. Just not flashy, but you don't want to tackle him.
MSU's we're trying to get a new stadium. Have been trying for years and years and years, and they finally made the really little headway last year where one of the state representatives just introduced it as a placeholder in a bonding bill or whatever. But it's been a real struggle. It was a great stadium when it was built, and it's got those, it's kind of steep, so every seat is really pretty good.
Yes, absolutely.
You feel like you're right on the field. But they've got to do something. I mean, the concrete is literally crumbling under the bleachers, and hopefully, I know there's going to have to be a big probably piece of private donation to do something with that, but it'd be something to put on your list to ask all the powers that be about when we're going to get a stadium.
It is intriguing because honestly, I hope to keep the natural grass because like very few places still have that, and there has been some correlation with like turf and knee issues, but also like people rave about that field. Yeah, the stands, yes, you can on top of everything, but again, also like you said, like you can tell the stadium has seen some cool moments. Yeah, you can tell it's gone through some things, but I mean it's still a cool facility for an area like this. It's awesome.
Yeah, sounds good. So what's coming up? What are you looking at covering this weekend and next week? And
well, MSU's home again. The back-to-back home games. They got Minot State University, the Beavers. Just a quick thing on Minot State. They had, make sure you do my math right, 229 yards of total offense and a loss last week. 216 came on the ground, 13 came through the air. So
13
passing yards
in the air.
Yes.
Okay, not a threat then.
You wouldn't think it's just.
You wouldn't think.
No, it's just you got to play sound gap defense against the run and force them to try and do something through the air. That's basically it. But I could see MSU pull out. And then next week, obviously, we got East versus West in football and in soccer, Friday and Saturday respectively.
It's a week from this Friday. A week from tomorrow.
Yes. Yeah, coming up in the near future. So
well, that's always the big game. And I don't know if anyone's informed you about the history of it. I think East has won 22 of the last 22. Or West. Boy, I'm really going to get in trouble. And although, East beat West in the playoff last year.
Correct.
So that should be interesting, highly anticipated, and we'll have all the coverage and preview info probably.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I'm gonna get a look at West this week when they have Albatana as well. So they're at home this week.
Yeah.
So
okay.
I haven't watched West in person. I know they lost by 2, and their quarterback went off like crazy. So I'm because I'm excited to get a chance to look at them and see what
Okay.
their facilities all
Yeah.
like.
So, readers, keep track of Free Press Sports. We'll be covering all the big games, high school games, and I think that's about. I'm going to wrap it up unless you have anything else to mention about the sports scene.
Not off the top of my head or the bottom of my head either. So
Okay. Well, I want to make sure people know how to get this great journalism. You can just call us to subscribe, 625-3764. You can email us, readerservice@mankatofreepress.com. Go to our website at the top right hand. You can subscribe online under subscribe. And we also want to mention you can buy reprints of sports photos or any photos that you might be connected to by working with our partner SBX Sports at 345-7196. You can also order reprints on our website. So thanks for listening, folks. We'll see you next time.
thank you.